Good day everyone and welcome to our watercolor journey. Today we're going to paint this daisy type of flower. If you know exactly what kind of flower it is, it will be great if you can leave it in the comment section for me. I'm going to use quite a few botanical techniques in this painting, and I will show you step by step how I created this painting. The materials I used is shown here, and I will also add it to the description list. My process for using masking fluid is, first of all, I use a masking brush. I dip it into a wet soap bar just to coat the bristles, and my masking fluid I pour out into a small little bowl. Therefore my masking fluid is not exposed to air the whole time from the bottle, and then you don't waste as much of your masking fluid. I'm starting by adding masking fluid to the antlers. You don't have to do this step, but I find it more convenient to prep that area with masking fluid when I can paint with much more ease. Negative painting is definitely a process that you can use, but it's up to you. You can definitely use the tools that you have available to you and work with it. Always fun to see the process of doing your masking fluid, and make sure when it's done that it dries completely. Now that the masking fluid is dry completely, we can start with our initial layers of painting. I'm using Prussian Blue as my base layer. Then I'm also charging in my different blues and the purple. What that means is that you've got your initial layer in, and you just dab in different colors to enhance certain areas and make the color more complex. So this is something that I'm going to do basically with all my petals, and just create variations as we go along. This is the first technique that I'm showing you, but remember, keep your colors as light as possible, because this is only the initial layer, and otherwise the rest of your flower is going to be way too dark. As we are working wet on dry, the colors will be more intense than when you work wet on wet. And play around with the variations and just make it your own. As you can see, I already have quite a bit of variation in the colors of each petal. And I'm also starting to add shadows, which I will also build up on later. So just to get that initial base in there is of crucial importance now. Then I'm also starting to lay in the foundation for the middle of my flower and let your painting dry. As you can see, the painting dried back quite a bit. So now I'm going to start intensifying some of the colors and shaping my flower to be more precise. I'm really showing you step by step how I do this part of a painting. So if you do not want to see each and every step, you're more than welcome to skip some of the sections. But I'm lining and just shaping at this point and intensifying values. I also want to intensify shadow areas of a flower. So it's really building up those layers to create separation between the petals of a flower. And definitely in certain areas you do not want really hard edges. So then you can just blend it out where it fuse into the other areas of a flower. This part of a painting process is quite important, so that you can really see that separation and see the different petals and the shadows that's between leaves from one, so that they're not in the same plane. Takes quite a bit of concentration to see where each petal lies on the page and to create the separation from petals that's above the other ones and ones that's below them. The petal that I'm busy with now is right on top of the other petals, so I want to intensify it quite a bit, that it stand out from the ones beneath it. And I think to create that color complexity is also very valuable. I think between the Indanthrene Blue, the Dioxazine, the Prussian and the Indigo makes a beautiful combination to create this blue flower. You will definitely see that I've got some hesitation in certain areas, because this is something different from what I normally do on the channel. So it takes a little bit of concentration and focus to do exactly what I wanted to do. And remember, even here, it's light against dark all the way. I will show you later on how I'm going to create some more light areas in the painting. I'm also going to show you how to create texture within the petals, because this flower definitely has some distinct ridges. And this one I experimented a little bit with dry brushing just to see what it creates. And this one, the petal was quite a bit darker at the bottom. I know the initial painting was very dark, so I think that's it. And let your painting dry. Okay, so this is where we are now at the moment. So now it's intensifying some of the shadows once again. So I really want those areas to be much darker than the rest of the flower. And once again, damp brush, blending it out so that I do not have very hard edges. So really about evaluating your painting at this stage and see where you need darker edges to stand out more clearly against the rest of the flower. I really enjoyed this change of scenery to create something more detailed. So I really do hope that you enjoy the process with me. So please let me know in the comment section what you think about this and what you would do differently and what you would create in this case. So now with the next step, I'm doing hatching on the petals to create the texture that it wants or needs. I zoomed in on this part so that you can see exactly what I'm doing. You'll also see that I'm going to line some of the leaves to make it stand out a little bit more and to clarify it, that the petals look more rounded and more precise. But you want the line to be very thin. It doesn't need to stand out. Otherwise, it's also going to look very unnatural. I think we're done for now, so we go painting and dry again. So everything is done, it's dried. So now it's time to remove the masking fluid. Because I want to see how the painting will look as a whole as soon as I start creating those little pieces of a flower. And I definitely want to use two different yellows, the cool lemon yellow and then also the little bit of a warmer color in transparent yellow. Other brands call it nickel azo yellow. A fabulous color also to have in your palette. And I think also the yellow makes it stand out beautifully against the blues and the purples. Now I'm also doing a little bit of lining around each of those antlers with a purple, and that will make them stand out even more. As you can see, it's already getting life and shape at the moment. I'm also bringing a little bit of purple onto the green there, also to create a little bit more shadow and make it look more lifelike. Now my next step is, because I lost a little bit of my light and I want to emphasize the texture of the flowers. So I'm using a Eradicator brush. The one that I'm using is from Herend, and in that way I'm lifting some of the color. You can even use another brush and just lift it and dab it out with your paper towel. This is all part of creating that shape and texture in your flower. And this you can do as much as you want. If you feel that you've done enough of it, then you stop. And as you can see, with the color that I lifted next to that bottom petal, it stands out even more. I'm using Fabriano's soft pressed paper today, and I really love this tough paper for detail work, because it's definitely not the same as hot press, and it's also not as textured as the cold press paper. So it's that nice in between, and you get the best of both. Now the next technique that I'm using, or to bring in even more white, is using permanent white gouache, and I'm just blending it out because I still feel that I can enhance it a little bit more with white, and bringing in some more light against that petal at the bottom. And once again, fingers are great to work with and just to blend out some of the areas that's not too stark. And once again, as with the lifting, bringing in as much light as you want, and if you feel that's enough, and that is if you need it, but when you feel that's enough, then you stop. But I must say, I really enjoyed this process, because sometimes you just need to push your boundaries a little bit and create something different. I think I'm done with this one for now, and I'll evaluate it later on to see if I want to do it again. So that's it for now. So this is our final painting. So please like, subscribe and comment, and I'll see you next time. Thank you for watching.